Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is that time again. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer out for the third straight day. 3 days now, Big Chuck.
This might be the longest he's ever been gone, I think.
Feels like it, too.
He's probably scratching like an addict, man.
Yes, I understand. I miss him. I do miss him. I know that Charlie's probably like, it's awesome to get 3 days away from him in some aspects. And then other aspects are like, oh, my God, please, Steven, get here.
Yeah, but there's other things like hearing his reaction to Cam Thomas would have been more fun if he was here.
We told you breaking news was going to happen.
Yep, every single time.
Every single time. Caleb Durbin trade happens. Cam Thomas is a buck. Go
back in history. Micah Parsons is traded. Just the craziest stuff.
He is missing a week for the first time in my time here, at least. And that will be in September. It's week 1 of the NFL season, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible recipe for him. I have no idea what's going to happen.
It's a terrible recipe probably for Packers fans at that point, too. He's not here if there's going to be big news.
Brewers down the stretch.
Yeah, one of those two teams, it's going to be awful news for them.
I don't know what's going on. Welcome into Wisconsin Sports Daily. Tommy Wirtz in, Charlie Usen still here, of course. Hopefully, Mr. Pfeiffer back sooner rather than later. Good show planned today. Some new news revolving around MLB TV going to ESPN, how it might affect Brewers baseball. Of course, we still got about 24 hours and change removed from Caleb Durbin trade. A lot of fun evergreen topics today. I'm in a fun mood. I sent a bunch over to Charlie. Want to get you guys involved today. 414-677-1250. That is the Nicolay Law talk and text line if you want to be a part of the show. Let's kick it off right away. MLB TV is moving to ESPN, right? And there was a new press release real quick that I wanted to read for you guys, coming from Jenna Meyer over at the Milwaukee Brewers. Does a fantastic job pushing these out. Brewers announced new in-market streaming option, Brewers.tv. So if you remember this, I had announced when this deal went down that there was Royals.tv, when I think I might have even been on this show when Sparky was asking me about it. So I anticipated Brewers.tv. I should have went out and bought it immediately. I would have made a fortune having to get that URL. Yeah, I would have been all over it. Milwaukee Brewers fans now have a new convenient way to watch their team all season long. Beginning today, Brewers.tv is the club's in-market direct-to-consumer streaming service, is officially available for purchase on the MLB app and at Brewers.tv. That's the website, right? The Brewers broadcast team remains the same, with familiar faces returning in the booth and on the sideline. So if you guys are like, hey, we still got Jeff Levering, we still got Sophia, we still got Rock. Yeah, they're all still hanging around. Of course, Brian Anderson going to be a part of that. Nothing changing to the broadcast team. Tim Dillard on this show all the time. Vinny Rottino as well, friend of the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. In addition to streaming, MLB will now ensure Brewers games remain accessible on a traditional cable satellite and telecom providers across Wisconsin and the Brewers' home territory. So if you are a Spectrum user, if you are a DirecTV user, whatever you might be using, there will be options for a channel to specifically watch Brewers baseball. Now, we did learn that sounds like the channel has nothing else going on. So it's pregame coverage, it's in-game coverage, it's post-game coverage. Then I don't know if it goes to a black screen or if there's nothing else going on at all. There is nothing as of yet on that channel. No great outdoors or anything, Charlie.
I think we could put something on there. We're talking about the cooking shows and stuff that we could do on this station.
Yeah, we need a Brewers themed Chopped episodes.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
I bet Sal Freeland can cook something.
Tailgate Chopped. That's what we're gonna pitch it. We're gonna pitch it. Wisconsin Full channel listings and local distribution information will be announced as the 2026 season approaches. So be on the lookout for that. The Brewers are among multiple teams in Major League Baseball whose local games will be distributed directly by MLB for the 2026 season. While this shift is part of a larger MLB migration of local media rights, today's launch places a clear priority on ensuring Brewers fans across Wisconsin and the Brewers' home television territory can seamlessly watch every local game without blackout restrictions. That is a big one there, right? The blackout subscriptions with MLB TV, there's all these packages that if you were going to, but you're in market, then you can't watch it. It was a huge problem with Major League Baseball and is in a lot of sports because they don't own their media rights.
Well, and I think it's really important that they use the term Wisconsin, not just Milwaukee in this press release.
Yes.
That the entire state is getting this treatment, not just one area, not just where the team is, which I think was a worry of a lot of people, that if you're outside of Milwaukee with a lot of these big media right changes that are happening with the team, happening within the league, that you get forgotten about if you're in a more rural area of the state. This sounds like they're thinking about that, and that they're thinking about keeping the state together and not breaking it up by big metropolitan areas versus the rural areas.
Here's an important price point, right? Brewers TV gives subscribers access to all locally distributed Brewers regular season games from anywhere in the club's home territory. Pricing remains unchanged from last season, which I assume that just means with what the other deals were doing, because obviously this is brand new. $99.99 for the full year. Select Brewers spring training games will be free to stream for fans with a valid MLB.com account. As part of MLB's expanded role, the league will also oversee the production of all locally distributed Brewers games in 2026. Brewers broadcasts will feature elevated production elements that Major League Baseball has pioneered in recent seasons, including technologies typically reserved for the national broadcasts, such as drones, wire cam in right field, shallow depth cameras. I didn't even know we were looking at deep depth cameras the entire time. But now we'll see the difference between those and umpire cam formats. This enhanced experience is designed to bring fans closer to Brewers players and on-field action than ever before. Brewers fans can subscribe starting today. Brewers.tv for more information. Go to brewers.com/watch. The question, will this change the way you watch Brewers games this season? Simple as that. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and text line to join the show. Charles, I'll ask you first here. How do you consume Brewers games?
I think the biggest way that I consume Brewers games is usually through going out. It's going to bars. It's not even really at home. I work a lot during a lot of these games. So either here at the station where I'm watching it just on the TV here or out at work. So a lot of that is through the cable television.
Yeah,
it's through the cable
TV over at work. So this would almost pertain to you not at all, right?
Not really.
Virtually.
No, it doesn't change much for me.
So for me, I don't actually own any antenna or any cords or any cable. I am a subscriber to FanDuel Sports Network. Now I can still say that because the Bucks are on FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin. So I go onto the website, or I have an app that I use on my projector that I go through at home on top of that. So this is directly impacting what I do. Now, here's the thing. There will be, I believe, monthly subscriptions, but the cheapest option is to just do $100. And then you can watch all the games that they offer right there.
Simple. Yeah.
This is not going to matter because ESPN took over Major League Baseball. That's a lot. That's a big thing people are like worried about. Is ESPN going to make me sign up for an account that I have to pay for to then sign up for another account? That is something that they were notorious with mixed martial arts, right? UFC, you had to sign up for ESPN Plus. So you're paying $15 a month for ESPN Plus, and then you still had to purchase a $70 pay-per-view every time you wanted to watch that. They have gone away from the pay-per-view model, and they moved over to Paramount. Now, I know there's a lot of moving pieces here, people. There's a lot. But the confusion comes from that you can subscribe to MLB TV from ESPN because they now have rights deals there. through 2028. You can purchase the one-time annual MLB.com TV subscription for $150, regardless of your subscription to ESPN. So if you are someone who consumes via the subscription, my recommendation is go to brewers.tv. If you are a person who is watching it on streaming, ignore everything else I just said because you want to move over, you want to watch Brewers games, brewers.tv. Type that into your search URL. That's how you're going to consume this. Now, me, I am in this boat of I will have to do this. I watch the Brewers games. Now, maybe it'll be a little different this year with how much I'm going to be consuming in the building, doing pre and post, as opposed to leaving and going home and watching the game. Maybe I don't do it. Maybe I don't. I'll see how things pan out. But it's very annoying to consistently have to be ready to move, especially with baseball. And it's really annoying that we had joint coverage of Brewers and Bucks. So as a FanDuel Sports Network subscriber, I was $20 a month. I get to watch every Brewers, every Bucks game, virtually every Brewers, every Bucks game. Now, this is going to be a specific MLB created Brewers app that you are going through to consume some of this. And Sparky, it feels like once a month has a subscription rant on this show. I mean, it's just like, how many are you actually using? How many do you really want to have? Like, I understand and I can sympathize with that. But this now is supposed to enhance the broadcast for Brewers baseball. And as someone who goes to maybe, I don't know, a handful of games a year, like I feel like 5 is probably a fair number. I'm usually working, so I wouldn't say I'm in attendance all that often. I think $100 to watch every Brewers game is a pretty good deal, to be honest. I mean, you're going to get about 145 games, it sounds like, because they're going to be nationally demanded. They want. How many times were they on Apple TV last year?
Too many times.
How many times do you see them on Fox? I mean, like they are going to be nationally demanded. Now, again, you will get blacked out of the national televised games. So any Friday night baseball that they get, Sunday night baseball that they get, you got to go watch that on either a different channel or a different streaming platform. Does this change the way you consume Brewers baseball games at all? Now, a couple other things to go on. Scotty Tiffany will not change a bit. Whatever I need to do, I'll do it. But it doesn't sound like much is changing with Spectrum. Correct. That is correct. If you are watching this from cable television or antenna, whatever it is now, again, that's how out of date I am with TV coming through like a wire at this point. No, it's not going to change. You're going to probably have a new number. So if you have like the Brewer favorited channel, unless you want to watch Bucks games too, like you're going to have to add a favorite or move one off on top of that. Any idea if T-Mobile customers get Brewers games included? Dude, way above my pay grade. I have absolutely no idea if that's going to be a part of it. I believe that's because they do have like the MLB account. Like if you get signed up for, you get MLB. Fans can purchase a one-time annual MLB TV subscription for $149.99, regardless of if they sub to the ESPN model. I don't know if it does. I don't know. Built-in in-market fan wishes for the stream. You need a Brewers TV. I'm going to say no. If you're going to stream it, you're probably going to need to sign up at least through brewers.tv. That's just my initial reaction. I have no fact to base that on, but I can't imagine they would go to it. So that's just some news regarding the Milwaukee Brewers. I think that it's not going to change the way you consume it all that much. Charlie, do you think it would lead to anyone being like, all right, I just got to get cable at this point?
No, I don't think so.
It feels like I'm getting to that point with my life.
Kind of, but I think that's more so just because all you're consuming, especially with the job that we're doing right now, is those live sports games.
Right.
So unless you're subscribing to a Fubo, which specializes in those live sport games, it doesn't really matter whether or not you have cable versus the stream packages because you're not watching anything on those streaming packages. So you might as well just get cable because it's easier to find these channels there. But I think for the most part, this definitely drives people towards the streaming side of things. I think, like you said, $100 does not sound that bad for 145 games this season. I think that's something a lot of people will try to take into account there. I think when you look at the relationship with the Bucks and FanDuel Sports Network, how long is that going to last now? Because the MLB's teams are dropping out of there, and whether or not that's going to stick around to be what it is moving forward here. I think there's a lot of changes happening that I don't know if this forces people more towards back to bringing the cable or retying the cable back together, because everybody says cable cutters. But I also think that this isn't really driving 100% traffic towards downloading the apps and doing the streaming services as well.
Looking at a couple of other FAQs here. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily. Tommy Wirtz in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer talking about new Brewers.tv announced today. This one right here, for those who are in market and have an MLB TV subscription, quote, possibly free through T-Mobile promotion. So this is relating to that last question. Or for free per purchasing a 20-game plan. Will Brewers games be available, or will they still need to purchase the Brewers plan to avoid blackouts? Now, here's this. You will still need the Brewers plan. So, but won't need to pay for MLB. That T-Mobile deal might change now also with the ESPN ownership during this is also listed. There's going to be a lot to be sorted out right here. But I promise, if you're figuring out already how you watch Brewers baseball games, if you already know and you're like in this wave of just like, is anything really changing? Not really. Okay. I want to make that as clear as possible. They're going to have a different price point. Okay. It's $100. You watch every single game, and you're going to have probably a new channel on your cable. I think that for the most part, all of us, while we can complain about it, we're probably smart enough to figure it out. We're probably like the same ways you do it. This is going to be how you consume it. And I see we got a chat over there. What do we got there from Jeff?
Jeff says, do we know if this is a long-term solution, or do you think there's going to be a new RSN a few years down the line? From the sounds of it, from Rob Manfred's point of view, he wants this to be all controlled by the MLB. He wants every team controlled by the MLB with their media rights.
Well,
basically.
And that's going to create a salary cap. That's why he wants to do that. That will create shared revenue throughout everyone. The problem is going to be convincing the Yankees and Yes Network. And the problem is going to be SNY with the Mets and whoever the Dodgers are going through as well. These guys get massive TV contracts. The Brewers don't, right? The Royals don't. The Tampa Bay Rays, the Cleveland Guardians, they don't. Like, these are all small markets getting involved first. And maybe that will get some backing and that will help the approval process of this. But it's going to take time. I don't know if there's any way we can search like who's got the longest TV contract deal still going around in Major League Baseball. But I'm pretty sure the Dodgers just renewed like within the last 2-3 years. And I would be shocked if that wasn't minimum 5-year deal at the point, 10-year deal at the point. Wouldn't surprise me. So I don't know how easy it is to transition this if you have to buy out any contracts, if you have to buy out any teams during this process. But it is going to be interesting to see what the Brewers are joining, not for the media consumption portion of this, but for the future of baseball and what will come now with more teams jumping on the MLB controlled. To your point, Charlie, I think it was 2028 was the year, the deadline that Manfred wants to get it done. I think that's his last year as commissioner, if I'm remembering correctly.
I think so, yeah.
So it's like kind of on his docket before he is forced out or retires or whatever it's called at the end of it. We'll see. Brewers.tv. You can sign up today if you'd like to watch your Brewers games that way. Now, again, remember, if you're a Bucks fan, keep your FanDuel Sports Network subscription. Make sure you do that because you got to watch the Bucks games somehow too when you're streaming. But you will not get Brewers games with that anymore. That is not where it's going to be. You got to go to Brewers.tv, get the MLB app if you want, and then you'll sign in same way. It's a little confusing. I get it, but I think we can manage. I think we can figure it out, and we'll see what happens. Can the games be replayed or streamed from the beginning of the game if I start watching later in the game? From Patrick. Pat, if they don't have that figured out on the streaming service, I will riot with you, because that's ridiculous if that's not the case.
Well, and they should have full catalogs of all the game replays just moving forward. Like, it should be easy to find all this stuff, especially through the MLB. Like, it should be easy to figure out.
Ooh, another one here from the 715. With the new channel, I wonder if they're going to rebroadcast the games like they had on FanDuel Sports Network, Fox Sports, and all in there, Bally's too. They always had the game on again at midnight or noon in the morning of every day, and you use DirecTV. How many can be logged in at once? That's another good question. I don't know.
We'll find out.
This is all brand new. I wish I worked for MLB for you guys.
And it's probably gonna be everybody can be logged in at once, and just like every other streaming service, slowly they go, oh no, actually only 2 people can be logged in. Only one person can be logged in.
Has anyone really done that since Netflix? Like, I feel like I don't know. If
HBO has done that since then.
Okay.
But they're also in this weird kind of limbo with their contract deals and all that. One other one just did that too. It was either like Hulu or Disney Plus. One of those two did it recently too.
Yeah, I mean, that's a Disney thing.
Yeah,
probably. It sounds like it. So,
and their phone partner is Verizon, by the way, just in case, for like ESPN's rights and stuff. The whole T-Mobile deal that we were talking about.
Oh yeah, so the T-Mobile plan, be on the lookout for that. That makes sense. Okay, all right. Well, when we learn more about it, I wanted to get you news before we get into some fun, I guess, for the rest of the show. I have a couple of really fun ones here. We're going to talk about the Caleb Durbin trade and that at 3:00 that happened from a couple of days ago, because I want to ask if you are doubting this trade despite Matt Arnold's track record. That's one I want to get into. But coming up next, I just saw that Bobby Knight, former Indiana basketball head coach, is getting a statue over at Indiana University. And my first thought was, how the hell does he not have a statue already?
That's what I thought too.
Like,
you sent that.
There's no way this guy didn't have a statue in Indiana yet for what he did for that program. And now I want to ask, what does someone need to do to get a statue? And what Wisconsin sports figures need a statue? Because there's a list, right? But I guess it's kind of like retiring numbers, where you can't retire every number, because then you're gonna have no one left over. But who still needs a statue, and what do you got to do to get a statue? What are some benchmarks as well? It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. We are in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbooks. Can you feel it? It's the thrill of witnessing a walk-off grand slam, a game-winning touchdown, a buzzer-beater 3. It's Tommy, and I know the feeling. There's only one place to experience that raw exhilaration: Potawatomi Sportsbook. Catch all the action in a supreme space with dozens of sports betting kiosks, cool drinks, luxe seating, great food, a fiery atmosphere, and a monster video wall. Monster, by the way. And we talked about it a couple weeks ago. When Charlie sees it, he calls it colorful. Looks really colorful. Only at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. More info at potawatomi.com. You must be 21 to enter casino. Let's talk about statues next on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Welcome back, Wisconsin Sports Daily. Tommy Wirtz in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Charlie Usen still in the building. And quite honestly, we can say this, that if the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network was going to get a statue, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer probably gets one, right?
Easy.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a mini figure, but like, or it's just his head. It's just outside.
Now that one would be too big.
The bronze
have to replace the satellites
that goes out over there. But there is, Sparky's been on the air for 20 years on this station. He's been instrumental in major moves that have been a part of this. He's won awards at the WBAs for best interview last year with Matt Arnold, and he's been a part of other top performing radio shows that he's gotten more WBA awards for. If there was going to be a statue, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer gets one in front of the building right there. Now, someone like Trevor Thomas, who's been on for a little bit, or Josh Albrecht in the morning, like Trevor's up in Green Bay, like he ain't getting no statue down here, does a great job, but I would assume our affiliates in WNFL, like they have to make that decision, right? We just learned that Bobby Knight is getting a statue outside the field house, or in one of the campuses here. Let me make sure I have the information correct. But he's getting a statue over at Indiana University. And Bobby Knight is one of the all-time greatest college basketball coaches, nicknamed the General. 902 Division I wins, which I believe Patino just got to 903 yesterday. Like yes. He just passed him. Okay. He coached at Indiana from 1971 to 2000, so almost 30 years. 70% win percentage, was an NCAA champion as a coach multiple times in that process. He's a basketball Hall of Fame. He is a college basketball Hall of Fame member and an Olympic gold medalist in 1984 as well, being a coach for the USA team. Like, that is statue-worthy presence. And I can't believe it's taken this long. Like, he should have been done 2000 with Indiana, 2001, where are we putting the statue? Like, get it ready to go. And so, Nicolay Law talking text line, 414-677-1250. Call up with, what do you need to do to get a statue in a city, whether for a sports team? All right. I don't need George Washington statue references over here. But I think, Charles, the number one statue criteria, is it championships?
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy. You have to have at least one.
At least one.
You said championships, though. Do you need more than one? Is it 2, 3? Like, what's the limit then?
I would say that if we're going to continue on with this question of who deserves one, like, well, Giannis has one championship, and he's probably the most surefire current Wisconsin athlete who's going to get a statue.
Easy. I don't think there's anybody else.
And he might not get a second championship. As far as right now, you asked me today, I'm not saying he's getting a second championship. In Milwaukee specifically, no, I can't say I guarantee that.
I think I would. I don't know how you can't guarantee that. I get it. We've seen over the past couple of months and heard over the past couple of months, but I think Giannis is guaranteed statue. I think the other guy that comes to mind isn't currently on a Wisconsin team, but Aaron Rodgers, I think with Green Bay, is another name you could bring up that could potentially be in that guaranteed statue type of realm. I think the way he left kind of changes things a little bit, and the way he's acted since then, kind of a little polarizing as just a person in general. It may change the way that people think about that. But Giannis, as polarizing as he's become, is still not that polarizing. I think most people had a sigh of relief, not a sigh of just anger when he was still here after the trade deadline.
Yeah, we're talking statues here. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Tommy Wirtz, Charlie Usen here. I see Brett over there. If Bo Ryan would have beaten Duke, he would have gotten one. Barry Alvarez should have a statue if he doesn't already. He does. He does have a statue. And Bo Ryan, that's an interesting one too, because obviously a very storied career at UW-Platteville on top of his UW men's basketball coaching record. And Bo Ryan, I believe just made the Hall of Fame. You have to be in the Hall of Fame too, Charlie? You feel like that's probably statue?
I don't know if that's necessary. I think if you have a good enough story, I think that helps you out a little bit too. And if you're a legend of the team, or again, you're journey to that point in your career, or what you've done for the city in your time there, can outweigh a Hall of Fame appearance in my mind. Championship appearance, I think that's something it can outweigh, but I think it would probably go championship, then again that storyline, then maybe Hall of Fame career.
Man, I don't know. I feel like Hall of Fame might have to be a part of it. I think so. Because like, did you see that did you watch the Bucks game yesterday? A little bit of it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They did like a Gary Harris tribute video.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Like, I mean,
that's a little crazy.
I get it. Gary Harris spent some time in Orlando. But a tribute video for Gary Harris, everyone's getting one.
Gary
now?
Harris was garbage time, man.
We should have one should have one for Nick Richards when he comes back up against the Bulls at that rate. Like, he got traded for
Thank you for getting us this G League player.
Yeah. like let's have a tribute video of just Shams tweets getting fired off. And thank you, Nick Richards.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. But like a Udonis Haslem, I think deserves maybe not a statue, but he deserves that type of love every time he's in that city in Miami. Derrick Rose just got his number retired by the Chicago Bulls. I think that's a player who's probably not a Hall of Famer. He doesn't have a championship. He has one MVP, but his peak was so short-lived. But he's still getting remembered by one of the most storied franchises of all time. I think when you have that storyline and the city buys into you that much, you deserve that type of respect to be immortalized by that team.
Aaron Rodgers, he'll get a statue, right?
Yep, I think so.
Is Brett Favre getting one anymore? I don't know. I mean, I feel like he should still, but I know there's going to be people being like, we got a statue of this guy now because of everything else that's going on.
The way people have talked about Brett Favre more recently, I think the way that he's viewed by the younger generations, for some reason, it seems like his polish has kind of worn off a little bit, and people aren't as big of a fan of him or look at his stats throughout his career and say, that's not a championship quarterback. A lot kind of the same way that I think some people talk about like a Troy Aikman sometimes too, in that sense, where statistically you are one of the greatest of all time, but people then criticize you for other things, or that the teams around you were maybe better than how you played, and that your stats just prove that you're not that type of player. I think that's starting to happen to Brett Favre a little bit.
Sean in downtown, you get a statue when you change the direction of a program / team during your time and hopefully bring home a title or two. Well, then that I also think time is a big factor. Like CeCe Sabathia fits that criteria, right? He changed the direction of the Milwaukee Brewers. He changed the program, and you didn't bring home a title. Obviously, I guess that's probably part of the criteria, but like, you got to have some time built in. You got to have, how long did Derrick Rose play in Chicago? That feels like about the lowest number. 10 years? Did he get 10 years there?
Let me double check, but about there.
If you get 10 years, 10 years at a place, you get a title, you get the Hall of Fame, like, then you start talking about statues.
Not even. He spent 8 years. That's why I said one of them with the injury.
So I mean, he's from Chicago, so maybe that's a little different with all of this too.
They claim him, they love him. He could have been like the worst player on earth, and Chicago would have loved him.
How about inventing the Lambeau Leap? Okay, Leroy gets one. Yeah, he's got a ring. He's in the Hall of Fame now too. I think those are the two big ones. I think you need a championship. I think you need a ring, and I think you need to have time spent, and you got to be a Hall of Famer. If Bobby Knight didn't have one at Indiana, if that was the bar right now, then there's not a lot current. I think it's Giannis, and I don't know if anyone else currently can say that right now.
If Christian Yelich wins the World Series with the Brewers this year?
No, they would sooner give one to Pat Murphy.
Yeah, probably. Two-time Andrew of the Year, World Series,
If the Brewers won the World Series this year,
maybe would get one too.
And and now people will say, like, he's only been the manager 3 years. I mean, he's been a part of the program for a long time. He has been in the building for over a decade. I believe 2014, Pat Murphy's first year on the coaching staff. Could have been even sooner than that, maybe a part of it. But like, if Pat Murphy won a World Series this year, statue.
Trying to think if there's anybody else off the top of my
Like, not going to give Ryan Braun one.
No, Braun wouldn't get one.
Not going to give one to any. Does Robin Yount need a statue?
Like, yeah, I would say like that's one that's
one.
probably a little overdue at this point.
They gave Uke one, obviously. Yeah. They've got a couple for him. They got the Hank Aaron one out there. That's a great one to have. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough threshold, I guess, to get a statue.
Jake Bowers.
Well, if they win a World Series. I mean,
I was on Twitter yesterday, and people were talking about Vinny Capra again because he's awesome.
Well, that's because I brought up Vinny Capra's name as well.
Andrew Wagner told me to shut up.
Which was basically, it was, if you're not certain about third base, last year Vinny Capra started third base for the Brewers. So
and
I'm
he
not
could start
worried.
Again this year if they wanted him to. But.
See, this is an interesting one with Reggie White coming in from the 9-2-0. And I only say that because of how storied his career is, being synonymous with two franchises, that it makes it difficult for like Green Bay to be a part of that in my mind. I know I'm not denying the impact that he had in changing the direction of the program. But it's tough. It's tough.
I think
Yount does have a statue. I don't know why I thought he didn't have one. Yeah, he does have one. I was about to say, why did I not forget that? But there is time that needs to be built in, and there has to be accolades that go along with it. I think championships and Hall of Fame need to be a part of it.
What about, so how does it change between like the history of a franchise? So yeah, maybe Reggie White doesn't get one for the Packers, and this isn't a Wisconsin one, but Kawhi Leonard in Toronto, that 1 year in Toronto, they're not a very historic franchise at this point. I mean, does he get one just because he was that huge cornerstone in that franchise? If
you want to be known as like a loser franchise, you give Toronto one. I know you won a championship with him, but like you had him for a year, and it's like, dude, we get it. You won prom king in high school. Like, it's 8 years later now at this point. So you need to make sure that you can try to build past that as opposed to reliving that moment.
If you're the hottest kid at the high school in a 30-person class, you're going to brag about that for a while. Why not?
Well, I was in a 180-person class, and you don't hear me bragging about it anymore either. Well, it's just interesting. Text in people that need a statue, and text in how crazy it is that Bobby Knight didn't have one already. He probably should have had one. Coming up, let's talk some expansion. That'll be fun too. Just a lot of, we're going everywhere with the NBA now saying that probably going to start voting on the two new teams. Looks like they have the cities anticipated, not picked by any means, but there is some evidence that we know where there's going to be two more teams, not whether or not where they're going to be or not. When it's going to come to the NBA, that's still to be decided, and likely this summer and off season that will be the case. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily. Served up by Wendy's. Tommy Wirtz in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer today. Charlie Usen still along for the ride as well. A couple of texts coming in after. Murphy gets a statue with 2 World Series wins. A flash in the pan doesn't get one. Is it flash in the pan at this point?
It'd be the only World Series in Milwaukee Brewers history. I think that means something. Again, when you talk about the history of these franchises, if it's the Packers, yeah, maybe two Super Bowls does it, but it's the Brewers. They don't have that in their history. I think you got to give him the respect.
Ron Wolf, another one popping in. Yeah, of course. Got to get him. There's a Lambeau Leap statue you can pose with it. Yeah, I know, but I
want for Leroy.
Yeah, we want Leroy. I don't care about the like statue anyway. You think my big, you know what, is gonna fit up there? Like I can't pose with that. I just want a picture of Leroy. Like
I think you could hit a mean Lambeau Leap
outside of all the Krogers all around the place. Like just they have a Leroy statue.
Maybe we'll add that to the Network Olympics. Lambeau Leaps, so you can get like the highest Lambeau Leap.
I'm cooked. Absolutely cooked. It's not gonna happen. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. NBA is looking to expand come their next voting process, and all signs pointing to Seattle and Las Vegas getting expansion teams. Now,
how boring. Like, go somewhere else, man. Come on, switch it up.
Where are you going to go other than those are the 2 obvious choices for
Nashville.
the NBA.
Nashville could get one.
They're saving Nashville for baseball.
Yeah, but you could do both. Why not?
Baseball,
Nashville's a big enough city to do that.
Here's what it's going to happen. All right. So I'm saying that baseball's next national or that next expansion, it's Nashville, it's Charlotte, that's locked up.
Mm-hmm.
NBA, we're locking it up with Vegas and Seattle, right?
Right.
Then it gets interesting after that because hockey, they just go wherever. They're sending teams to Utah at this point.
That was awesome.
With football, I think Utah is a sleeper again for that. Something Salt
football,
Lake.
It's going to be international for football, isn't it?
You think that's
the way they're leaning towards right now? Like saying, "Hey, Canada, you want a team in our league?"
No,
hey,
Canada's never gonna. They got the CFL. They can't.
Hey, London, you want a team in our league?
Yeah. That's where it gets
that's
interesting.
real. Yeah.
Send the Jags out there, see what happens.
Yeah, why not?
Oklahoma City, could they do it? It's like a very similar Milwaukee size metropolitan area.
Yeah, I think so. I think their problem is their NBA team just won a championship, and I still don't think that city's seeing the same kind of like bounce that Milwaukee got when they won the championship. Maybe hard to kind of convince the NFL as a league or the MLB as a league to want to prop a team up there.
Well, this comes from the NBA likely to vote on expansion that could bring new teams to Las Vegas and Seattle. Adam Silver first acknowledged the possibility of expansion before the 2021 season, and he believes he would have a resolution on the idea at some point in 2026. This could be an extra great year from the NBA Board of Governors for a city like Seattle by expanding 2 teams where Las Vegas and Seattle are the favorites. Another thing, feels like you have to be the Supersonics. Like you cannot be something else if you go to Seattle. No, it'll be the biggest mess up ever if they don't just go back to being the Supersonics.
Yeah, but that's so lame. I know that's what people want, but like people are lame. Try to do something new. Like I think the Seattle Kraken has worked really well as a hockey team. I think that's brought a lot of, again, just new kind of a vibe to that sports world. I think stick with that. Stick with the Mariner type of theme and that coastal type of theme, and don't just go back to the Supersonics. It's lazy. It's boring. And I know people are loving the nostalgia in the NBA, but I think at this point it's starting to get to that spot where they're overdoing it almost a little bit with the nostalgia.
If the NBA does vote to expand, that would leave the league with 32 teams, perhaps more importantly, 2 more teams in the Western Conference. Yeah, so then that would mix things up. I would assume that it'd be probably pretty easy. You're going to move Minnesota to the East, and then it's probably between Memphis and New Orleans being the 2 other teams that could shift their way over to being Middle America. You're not going to move Denver over there or anything, but it would shake things up. And then it would be an expansion draft, and that would be awesome. Like
they're like almost directly on top of each other. I was gonna say it would be easy just pick the one that's more east, but they're almost directly on top of each other.
And that was Charlie learning geography in real time right there on the radio.
I knew it. It was just, unlocked again.
Just, it's really crazy. Go look at Detroit and go look at Atlanta. Like, Atlanta's more, Detroit rather is more east than Atlanta is. Like that one will really mess you up.
Yeah,
when you think of
but they're not
there.
directly on top of each other. That messed me up more.
Oh, okay. Well, let me get the close music ready. Coming up, we got another hour of this. Caleb Durbin trade. We're sticking to serious at the top of the hour, fun throughout the rest of the show. Does any part of you doubt this trade despite the track record of Matt Arnold? We'll talk about that next. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Tommy Wirtz in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Charlie Usen, no days off ever. Let's get to hour number 2 right after this.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
All right, hour number 2. Tommy Wirtz in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's alongside Big Chuck, Charlie. Use it. That's all I had. I ran out of nicknames for you. There's another nickname that no one else knows.
Chaz. My mom calls me Chaz.
Chaz. Pookie. Does Beth call you Pookie?
Beth does not call me Pookie. She calls me Handsome because I'm handsome.
Oh, okay. All right, Handsome. All right, Big Chuck. Nice. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. As you can tell, like, we're all over the place here today. We are all over. I got a lot of fun, great topics. We got Trinidad Chambliss coming up in this hour as well, trying to like get back his eligibility after he already lost. Like, bro, go make money in the
get
league.
It back for like the third time.
Yeah,
give it up, dog.
Come on, just go start a family, whatever it is you do after college. I don't know. I'm still
sell cars, man. Is that the thing that everybody else does?
Right, just figure it out. Charlie's sounds of the day as well. 4:00 hour green and gold update. We're going to talk a little bit about the left tackle position. I think that's going to be fun because look at how bad Will Campbell looked in the game against the Seattle Seahawks this past Sunday. Jordan Morgan, how are we feeling about that? That's coming up at 4:00. And also at 4:20, that Hornets Pistons fight, man. What are some of these best fights that you can remember in sports? That's where I'm at today.
Tommy brought that one up, and I was like, "Oh, I got so many thoughts."
Sparky can go wherever he wants tomorrow and talk all about the rumors of the Bucks and Ousmane Dieng and what's going on there.
When you got us two and Mitch Thunder Nellis working here, you know, you leave the monkeys unattended at the zoo for long enough, they'll figure out that the door's unlocked, and they'll start having fun.
I'm getting out of here after this too. But I am obviously Brewers focused. I like talking about the Milwaukee Brewers, and they're the most active in the news right now because I just don't care about Cam Thomas. Caleb Durbin trade happened on Monday, right? Yesterday. It's so weird. Yeah. Like the days are all mixed up now too because Crosby was off. I'm off tomorrow. Sparky's not in. Trevor was off Monday. I mean, this is dumb planning by all of us. Dumb planning. Not a fan. But regardless, the Caleb Durbin trade, despite Matt Arnold's track record, are you in doubt of this trade? Are you happy about it? I would like to get direct to consumer. Nicolay Law fan talking text line 414-677-1250. Let's open up the Nicolay Law talking text line. Tell us why you are doubting or why you are confident in Matt Arnold based on his track record. I'm looking back at some of the Brewers trades over the years, right? Like last year, remembering Andrew Vaughn, right, for Aaron Savali, which, by the way, he is now going to the A's. Did I see that correctly?
I think so.
Aaron Savali off to the A's now. And the Brewers got Andrew Vaughn in the middle of the year. Yep. No one thought that was going to be anything.
He got $6 million from the A's. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. They just don't want to pay big ones, so go ahead, do that. The Caleb Durbin trade initially, right, which was Devin Williams, Nestor Cortez, Caleb Durbin. Looking back at it, I feel like you have to add all of these up, right? Because that's what it looks back to. The Josh Hader trade, right? That's like one of the ones that I think of right away. The Josh Hader trade itself, in the moment, not a good trade for the Milwaukee Brewers. Was not a good trade. Destroyed the clubhouse. They blew it at the end of the year because of that. And Esteury Ruiz, no. Dinelson Lamet, no. Not a fan. Didn't matter. However, they flip Esteury Ruiz and they get him and turn him into William Contreras. All of a sudden, the Josh Hader trade looks pretty good because of adding it all up. It was just giving up Esteury Ruiz and William Contreras, a foundation right now in this Brewers team. A catcher that plays virtually every day, plus bat from the position. Now, last year he was a little down, but widely considered a top 5 catcher in Major League Baseball, I would say, by most accounts.
Even with a partially down year last year, most of MLB Network and all these other places that do these player rankings for the MLB still have him as a top 3 catcher in the MLB. They're not worried about what happened last year, and they know it was partially due to those injuries he was suffering with.
The Corbin Burns trade, right? That turns into DL Hall and Joey Ortiz. DL Hall's been pretty solid, but been a little unhealthy. Joey Ortiz has one pretty solid year and one terrible year. Like it was a really bad year. A Vinny Capra-esque year, some people called it. Not Charlie, but no. I will say that I think it's working itself out, and they win that trade against Baltimore. Baltimore already doesn't have Corbin Burns anymore. So they won that trade. You got to have the jury out on these next two with Angel Serpa coming over from Kansas City for Nick Mears and for Isaac Collins. Now, to be honest, I was more upset about losing Nick Mears, I felt like, in that trade than I was about losing Isaac Collins. I could see the writing on the wall with Isaac Collins on people saying maybe he hit his ceiling last season. Totally understood. Nick Mears, that guy is pitching every day.
Yeah, but after seeing the other arbitration numbers that the Brewers ended up having to pay out, it made sense then that they just didn't want to pay Nick Mears in the arbitration. Felt like he was going to be higher valued along with some of these other guys like Andrew Vaughn with what he already got paid by the White Sox, his number being higher than probably what they wanted.
On top of that, don't forget that Nick Mears, the moment got a little big for him in the playoffs. Like it was like, is this guy built for the moment? I don't know. And I get that. In
his defense, a lot of the team felt that, especially during the Dodgers series.
Sure.
You just saw them all kind of fall apart a little bit and get tired.
They've traded cash considerations for Rob Z last year on top of that, which when he was healthy, he was effective as well for the Brewers. And I know health is going to play, a massive role in all of who wins, who loses a trade. But Andrew Vaughn really was one that stood out last year as like, that's a home run. That one was great. And now Freddie Peralta gets sent out this offseason. Caleb Durbin, very active trading away big leaguers this year, the Milwaukee Brewers. For a team that won 97 games, and a lot of people trying to say, oh, they're not doing much in free agency. They won 97 games. They're trading away a lot of guys that won 97 games last year between Peralta and Durbin. And, regardless, Andrew Monasterio gets credit for a win or two in that 3-week stretch. He went crazy.
He had an okay season last year, which is good for an Andrew
September,
Monasterio.
He was nuts.
It was absurd. And then whether you want to say, Anthony Siegler played for this team for a couple months too.
Yeah, I mean, he played for this team. That was you tried to sound positive, and you were like, well, he played. Like he did wear a uniform.
Boston fans seem like elated with this trade. They feel like that they were hyping up Andrew Monasterio. I saw a whole Twitter thread about that. People were talking about Anthony Siegler, saying he's this guy who can play multiple positions. They just absolutely love what the Boston Red Sox did and feel like they fleeced the Brewers for some reason.
Quinn Priester trade. Yoferi Rodriguez. A lot of people, myself included, whoa, we're giving up the number 7 prospect in the system for this guy who hasn't panned out in the bigs so far. Eat crow. Last year was a phenomenal year for Quinn Priester. I know, again, the end of the year, he couldn't pitch in Wrigley. That was not great, not ideal, but they won 20 games in a row with that guy pitching. Like that is not because of Quinn Priester. Chops in the Falls. I have the utmost confidence in anything Matt Arnold does at this point. There may be a children's book written about him and everything he touches to gold. I expect Harrison to get votes for the Cy Young this year. Okay. Wow. I mean, that would be insane. That would be crazy if something were to turn around that quickly. Durbin from the 414, a fan favorite for sure, but not a sure thing. Use his potential to get more pitching. I'd rather have a solid long-term left-hander than potential ceiling of 25, 30. I'm sorry, Caleb Durbin's hitting 25 homers in a big league.
Yeah,
Never.
Good luck
Okay,
with that.
no. too much infield talent in the farm system. You can never have enough left-handed pitching. JP in Tosa. Sports writers say we don't need Caleb Durbin because he was due to regress because he was a pull hitter and he hit the ball up. It's not a problem because you're replacing it with Jeff Williams, who can be good if he learns to pull the ball and hit the ball up. That's how that works. Ron in Rome. I tend to agree, and I think the shock value yesterday, it's Wisconsin Sports Daily. Tommy Wirtz in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, along with Charlie Usen, of course. I think that people could feel Caleb Durbin was shocked to be traded. And I don't know, I haven't heard anything from him or seen any response. You know, the Brewers put out, a thank you, Caleb type graphic. But you can't tell me that guy didn't feel pretty comfortable here. And whether or not that was, he just felt comfortable being a starting third baseman or just being on this roster or just being in this community, like a guy who's from, Lake Forest, virtually in the backyard of Milwaukee. He is someone who is the epitome of what the Brewers were trying to do last year in each and every baseball game with his attitude and his effort and his style of baseball. And he's someone that was making a lot of public rounds this last year. He pops on the radio a couple of times here with us. He's got events that he's doing all over the state. And another guy that it seemed like had a really good relationship with Pat Murphy, right? Calling him happy and, continuing to razz him with being as short as he is and how he plays the game of baseball. So I think that's where my shock value at least came from, is that it was Caleb Durbin shouldn't have to worry about being traded, because I didn't really think anyone was that interested in Caleb Durbin. And the Brewers were just going to embrace someone they thought really fit their mold to be a part of their team.
Well, but I also feel like at the same time, it doesn't really seem like, I guess, we're surprised that Caleb Durbin was the name. Like when I saw his name come across on Twitter, I was surprised about that too. But from the Brewers' perspective, from the organization's perspective, are they that surprised about that? They know the type of talent they have coming up in the farm system at the infield position, whether it's second, shortstop, or third base, even a couple guys at first base that you're excited about. But within this upcoming season, a lot of people are expecting maybe a shot from a guy like Jet Williams, like we're talking about, Cooper Pratt.
Yeah, I think this guarantees Jet Williams on the
it guarantees he's probably going to be on it. I think Andrew Fisher gets a chance at some point this season, possibly being a AAA guy. Like you're going to see other names come through this Brewers system that they know about and that they're excited about. And as much as they were excited about Caleb Durbin, and I agree with you, I think he really embodied what the city represents and what the team was representing during this run this past season. And I think the city and the state just embraced him because he is this D3 college guy, like you said, coming from a town nearby. It just felt right. But at the same time, the writing was on the wall that he was not going to be a long-term piece. And why drag that on, especially for a guy that you like, if there's opportunities elsewhere for him?
Ron, Caleb Durbin did everything that the Brewers asked of him, and they shipped him out. How's that going to work for team morale next summer? I don't know. I mean, they're not doing it in the middle of the year, which they learned from at this point.
I'd rather, again, ship him out now before he has a struggle period in the middle of the season, and then you give a bunch of young guys the chance over him while he's still on the team. That hurts morale a lot more than just saying, hey, we have plans that you're not a part of. I'm sorry that that's the case, but we can move you on from you now and give you an opportunity with a team that's going to give you that shot.
They needed a lefty starter as well.
Mm-hmm.
They did not have one. That was at least totally solidified. Now, obviously, Gasser can start. DL Hall can start. Aaron Ashby, which I think people, I would start to look back at Aaron Ashby being a part of the.
So awesome, the bullpen.
He was. I get that, but I'm saying someone with starter experience, and all they wanted to do was open baseball games with him in the postseason last year, which worked out not great, but still a guy that I wonder if he's going to be in some sort of contention to be a starting pitcher in this rotation. If they want to throw one lefty in there, you can chalk it up. It's going to be Woodruff, Priester, Miz in some configuration at the top three. And really, I think that it's probably going to be Priester at the 2, Probably. I can't even say that comfortably.
That's what I would say. I had arguments about this with my friends, but he just proved too much last season that he deserves that spot. He deserves that role to start the season at least.
Well, and then after that, like, I kind of want to put Chad Patrick at 4 or 5. Like, he's got to be somewhere in there.
If Logan Henderson's healthy, though, he was like, just give him the shot at that 4 spot.
I really think Chad Patrick got a rough shake from team run support last year. It was not ideal from him. And Logan Henderson's great. And if Logan Henderson has developed another pitch and continues to showcase what he did in the 5 games we saw out of him last year, yeah, I would be open to seeing Patrick be the first guy out of the pen type role. But they are going to have a lefty be a part of the regular 5. And now, when you trade for a guy like Kyle Harrison, giving up your starting third baseman, you would think that is going to give Kyle Harrison a little bit of an edge to be in that front 5. I don't think it puts him in Sharpie by any means because he's only 24 years old. But I would be shocked if the Brewers go 5 right-handers as their starting pitching rotation.
Wade Miley comes back. He's a free agent right now.
Is Quintana still a free agent?
I'm not seeing his name on this list. Oh yeah, he is. He's still down there. John Means. That was like when he was healthy.
Well,
MVP caliber guy.
He was a 5 years ago kind of guy.
Nestor Cortez, still a free agent. Bring him back.
Nope. I'm gonna say no to that.
Patrick Corbin.
Definitely no. So
Jordan Montgomery.
Yeah, former Brewer legend. Yeah, I got it. So exactly all the names we just named. I'm not interested. I really do believe that this is just like recency with Caleb Durbin. And from here, from the 414, I really believe that his immediate shock will pass quickly, considering he's going to be in a bigger market. He has the potential to make more money. The Red Sox are an iconic ball club, slightly rougher crowd if he does not do well. But I think he's going to have success. Yeah, I mean, I think Caleb Durbin plays his brand of baseball. Anyone's going to like it wherever they are. And Monasterio and Siegler, they're kind of throw-ins. I don't know if Boston wants to, CYA a little bit on that. But I do believe that this Caleb Durbin deal is a good thing for the Brewers. I truly believe that. And Isaac Paredes is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Some offers going around with the Pirates. The Brewers can outbid the Pirates, people. I promise you they can outbid the Pirates. My fear, they would lose a guy like Pena in this. I think Mate is going to be untouchable. Hopefully Pena is untouchable. I would agree. I don't know if Cooper Pratt gets the deal done. I think I would do the deal, but I don't know.
Is Pena really untouchable to you? I know you love Pena.
I would like him to be.
But like at the same time, if you can get a player that's a
for
Paredes,
for the lineup, for Paredes, I can be convinced. I'd like to see the package. I would like to not give up a whole lot else also, but yeah, I understand that the farm has to, you have to leave the farm at some point. You gotta go to the big somewhere.
Got a lot going on there, man.
There's a lot going on with the farm, and trading for a guy like Jet Williams kind of throws a wrench into it as well. It seems like there's a lot of people who are confident in Matt Arnold's ability to make trades now. There's a handful sprinkled in that obviously loved Caleb Durbin and what he did. I'm okay with it. I wouldn't expect David Hamilton to be any sort of piece like this. I think he's a kind of the Monasterio replacement in all of this deal. They just get another guy that can go on the 26 man and be a backup utility guy, go in wherever you need him to. With that being said, yeah, it stinks to see Caleb Durbin go. It does stink. He was cool. He was fun. I'm excited, though, for the other side of this trade. And we wish Caleb Durbin nothing but, good luck over in Boston.
It's different conference, different side of the world. It feels like. Go have fun. We'll cheer for you.
I would guarantee Jet Williams is going to be on this opening. I feel strongly saying that with this deal. Played a role in it for sure. Yeah, let's keep going on with some more ethics conversations, I guess. A little evergreen. Are you happy with what the NCAA is trying to do to regain some control back in college sports? We'll get to that topic next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Don't forget Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you want to watch any pro sports there, you want to get a little money in, get some action on it. If you just need something to do on a Saturday night, like take a date there, I'm sure you can go hang out with the boys. They got the pay-per-views for all the UFC. It's not really pay-per-view anymore, but whatever. Like, I was worried for a second about the Paramount deal for the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It looked more packed, I think. Great atmosphere to watch all of your favorite sporting events. They got phenomenal food options over there. Austin Herdina, say, you know, Tommy over there, Luis Olmos, great dudes dealing with everything. Justin Arnett, Jay Saunders, if you want to say hi, you can. Otherwise, just walk right past him too. That's
damn, that beef is real.
I mean, we're gonna have to. It's like this is the story here.
Well, you got Austin on your side, so I think
I think Austin. I'm gonna stand behind Austin because Jay's actually probably bigger than me too. Like, he's taller at least. But Austin, his personal bodyguard, that would work out well. Potawatomi Sportsbook, 2,000 square foot screen, amazing food and drink options. Book a table, Potawatomi Sportsbook, Potawatomi.com. Let's get to a break here, and we'll start talking about the NCAA. That'll get us all fired up. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Welcome back, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Tommy Wirtz in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, alongside Charlie Usen. Charles, I have a question. Do I need to smile more?
I think you smile enough.
Yeah.
Who's somebody telling you you don't smile enough?
Some people say I don't smile enough on these things. I feel like I smile more than most people in this building.
Okay, actually, wait. I might tell you, you laugh a lot. I don't know if you smile that much.
Okay.
Oh, there's a difference.
That doesn't count?
Well, no, it does, I guess,
like,
kind of. But like you force a smile when you laugh.
It's like every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. You nailed it.
Okay. I don't think that helped at all, but I guess I'll try to smile more. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. See, it just doesn't work. Doesn't work. It should count.
Well, I'm kind of a smiley person, so I think that just doesn't help either. It contradicts a little bit.
Yeah, you just smile too much, probably. That's what it is. Like, there are people who smile too much.
When you're a Bears fan, man. You smile through all the pain in your
no
life,
no one at all. No one at all. Anyway, only took about an hour and a half until I finally got a text from Sparky, and I'll text him after. It's not about, we're not in trouble by any means.
So I gotta double check, make sure I didn't get a text.
No. I think it's just from me. Anyway, want to talk about the NCAA right here. And this comes from a new twist in the Trinidad Chambliss case to seek NCAA reconsideration. And this just got done and wrapped up with an Alabama basketball player, Charles Bediaku, as well. So for those of you who don't know, Bediaku was the G League player that was granted access to go back to college basketball.
Yeah, it was a restraining order that he got against the NCAA that basically stopped them from stopping him from playing. That restraining order only had a certain period that it was active for. And now the NCAA has fought back and gotten the restraining order basically removed and is now halting freezing, I guess, his eligibility, not taking it away, but just freezing it.
That's how broken is this system that you are the NCAA, you run college athletics, and you can have a restraining order against you to have someone compete in your product?
Well, because they didn't plan for this type of stuff. They didn't think about any of this when they put in the NIL whole deal that's going on right now. They did it so loosely and with such little regulation that they are screwing themselves over with things that you would have never thought of being an issue before.
A Tuscaloosa judge denied his request for a preliminary injunction. That is Charles Bediaku. He did play 5 games. And the injunction would have allowed Bediaku to continue playing while his lawsuit against the NCAA proceeds. It's been denied, and he will no longer be eligible to play basketball after 5 games for the University of Alabama. When asked about what's next for Bediaku, Nate Oates, head basketball coach over at the University of Alabama, we're going to help him try to gain weight back. He lost some since he was in the G League. We're going to continue to help his basketball development. We're going to continue to help his development as a student and as a student athlete. His development wasn't what you think is being pro. I don't know if that's a sentence. You're more of a professional and you're able to focus on your body and getting that right in college. He's here. He's in school. I know he's got a team of attorneys. I'm sure they're trying to figure out what their next steps would be. I don't know exactly what those are for him. That was the Charles Bediaku situation. Trinidad Chambliss, Ole Miss today filed reconsideration over the denial of Trinidad Chambliss's eligibility waiver and appeal. Sources telling Yahoo Sports. Now, the reconsideration method is available for schools and players who have new information or evidence related to the case. Ole Miss's reconsideration is expected to focus on unearthed evidence over Chambliss's 2022 season at Ferris State, where he believes he was entitled to a medical red shirt related to a severe case of tonsillitis. I mean,
Dude, come on. You could have picked like if you're gonna pretend like something is serious enough in order to get there, you could have made at least like a serious thing. Tonsillitis is the most like bogus thing to put out there where it sounds weird enough that I think it could work, but at the same time, just say that he had like the worst flu possible during that time, because he might have had the flu and you could just said he missed a bunch of time because of that. That sounds better and more realistic than tonsillitis. Like, again, this is such a last ditch type of effort to get him back in here. And if you're that worried about not being good in the NFL, man, just go play in the Canadian Football League, get paid that way. Like, just stop trying to take opportunities from other people right now.
The NCAA Athletics Eligibility Subcommittee's decision to deny Trinidad's appeal is indefensible in light of the undisputed facts, says a statement from Ole Miss. The NCAA staff and subcommittee asserted that Trinidad was not denied the opportunity to compete during the 2022 season, despite the reality that he did not dress for a single game while suffering from severe incapacitating medical conditions. Yeah, that let's leave the tonsillitis part out of that. Those conditions were fully and contemporaneously documented by his treating physician, yet this waiver request was still denied when it should have been approved at the NCAA staff level. Trinidad's representatives will continue to pursue all available legal remedies, and we will publicly stand behind Trinidad while holding NCAA accountable for a decision that fails to align with its own rules, precedent, and documented medical record. Now, there is something here where Ole Miss is just playing the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
I hate that.
And then to Charlie's point, though, the NCAA did a terrible job of due diligence during this, and we've known that for 5 years now. We knew that in about 30 minutes after NIL went viral, right? It felt that quick with whatever they could do. It was always the Wild West.
Well, and Nate Oates, the head coach of Alabama, the basketball coach, he talked about that whole, don't hate the player, hate the game. It's not our fault that we're able to do this. We're just going to take advantage of it. Instead of being a part of the problem, why don't you help that not be an issue moving forward? Why don't you be part of the group of coaches that want this to be regulated so that they can figure this out and have this kind of go back to normal? I mean, I think a lot of this just takes away, again, from the kids that already are on campus, the kids that are already on this team that are hoping to practice and move forward. And I know that they'll still do that, but not with the full attention of the coaching staff, not with the full attention of the school around them, because they're focusing on things like Trinidad Chambliss trying for the third time to come back to college football because he doesn't think he can go pro at this point. Like, this is all so weird. And I think that it will take away from their development this offseason. I think Wisconsin last offseason was hurt and was slowed down development-wise because they were spending half the offseason dealing with the Xavier Lucas stuff and all these other situations with players that are trying to leave but can't leave, but then they don't want to leave, and now the school wants them to leave. It's all just back and forth that's taking away from the development of the kids that are on the field, taking away from the attention that they deserve.
I want him signed up for 15 credits next semester. Then
honestly,
I want
him a full damn student.
I want to see I want public records of class lists for all students at public universities. If we're going to take it this far, like let's really make them all in on being student first, athlete second. Because I really think this is a whole bunch of malarkey, garbage for right now. And 6th year of eligibility, dude, come on. The NCAA needs to just go to 5 years. Give them 5 years instead of 4. It's increasingly more difficult to graduate in 4 years as a regular student too. You wanted to get a transfer year. Sure, that's fine. You're expected to make every correct decision for the rest of your life at 18. No, I mean,
you're not paying for school in most of these guys' cases that are doing all of this. So yeah, stay longer in the school, stay as long as you need, take that time. Again, the other students are paying for it.
Nick Laylaw talking text line 414-677-1250. Lewis, you're on the north side of Milwaukee. What's up, Lewis?
What's up, man? Here's the double-edged sword with the whole Trinidad thing.
Yeah.
It's not that he's taking a job away from these other kids and all that. All that is gone. Nobody is innocent in all this.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? You got coaches going up to returning sophomores saying, hey, buddy, hit the portal. You're not going to play next year.
Yeah.
You have that. So the hate the player, hate the game. It's all a mess. NCAA is all a mess, and I got some guaranteed fixes.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I'm going to tell you like this: if you sign a freshman scholarship, you should be guaranteed 10 semesters at that school.
Okay.
That's 5 years.
Yeah.
10 semesters. You know what I'm saying? You can transfer wherever you want to go, but that's it. You got the football players, you get 10 semesters. I don't care if you break your leg. I don't care if you break an arm. 10 semesters.
Right. We're back to
that's
5
it.
years. Okay. I like that, Lewis.
Yep.
10 semesters. Continue on.
10 semesters guaranteed.
Yeah.
So that means if somebody plays at Wisconsin for 2 semesters, I don't care. In 20 years, he's still owed his 8 semesters. He can go to Wisconsin and get his degree.
Okay.
Yep. That's it. So we're guaranteeing him an education off top.
Yep.
So right now, so right then, the NCAA and all the schools are off the hook. They're saying, look, you can get your education whenever. But all this transferring, we're going to court. We're going to ask for, another year.
Well,
all that is garbage.
Lewis, you know what it reminds? It's like you're doing so much work to get around. Like if you just did the work from the first part, you would be at the same point, probably faster. Right.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
it's like a laziness that has created more work for you, to your point, Lewis, where, hey, these coaches are not recruiting high school anymore because they're just like, well, this guy's already proven commodity and I don't have to get judged on player development. And I can tell dudes on my team who I don't want to come back to take away scholarship and do that. It's a laziness that is really promoting like more work for some of these people in some cases.
Yeah. These high-paid coaches, they finally ruined college football. You know what I'm saying? They had the ability to do everything the players had to do. They had that ability 10, 15 years ago. Sign $1 million contracts, leave whenever they want to leave, and now it's caught up with them. And now that coach at Ole Miss is begging the courts so that this guy can play another 8th year of college football, so he has it easy. So the coach has it easy, not the other players. These coaches want it easy.
Lewis, let's brainstorm this together real quick. Lewis, I have another one. Even I think that the schools setting up like NIL collectives is also garbage. I think that I don't know if that's going anywhere, but you should just make NIL all third party. Like you want to make any endorsement deals, go ahead. You want to sign autographs, go ahead. Ole Miss should have nothing to do with Trinidad Chambliss's money. They should not have anything to do. If they have a cool Nike deal, like, hey, I can give you this Nike rep or whatever, fine. But like getting money directly from the school is just like, at what point are we going to make them employees of the state, Lewis?
I'm going to tell you when that point comes. That point is going to come when Harvard decides to field a football team and they take their billions and billions of dollars and put the best football team in the country on the field.
Dude, when the Ivy League gives out athletic scholarships, it is over for the rest of football.
That's when it's going to be over. Because Harvard has more money than all these schools combined.
Yeah.
They can literally, Harvard can literally stop a guy from going pro if they want to. They could pay him that much money.
Oh, man, dude, if Trinidad Chambliss ends up at Harvard next year, Lewis, like that would be amazing. I would love that. Lewis, thanks for the call. We got to get to the next segment, boss.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes,
there he is. Lewis on the north side of Milwaukee. That's a great point. I mean, it's never going to happen because they don't do the athletic scholarships at the Ivy League. But if the Ivy League was like, screw it, we're going to try to get the most disgusting football team, that would be amazing a little bit. I would be all in on that.
Well, I think that'd be fun too, at least seeing one of those teams try to go in all for it. I think the one thing I had a problem with what you guys were talking about, and you had brought it up, it was where you don't want these NIL deals to be through the schools. I think that comes with its whole other brand of issues with about who these players are then getting sponsored by. Because right now, in my experience, the NCAA at least has guidelines about who can sponsor players in the NIL. We got a 2-hour lecture at the D3 level for college football for one of the worst teams in the country about who can sponsor you at that level. So I'm assuming everybody got that. And I think that's really important because I look at the professional world right now. In the MLB, you're seeing a lot of these minor league players get deals with betting companies. I think at the NBA level, you're seeing the Giannis news come out where he's partnering with Kalshi as like an ownership partnership. I think you may see that start to creep into things like college sports. And when these are players who are 18 years old, that's something that you have to be a little wary of, because it can become predatory in nature, especially if it's a lesser known brand that's trying to do that, trying to sneak in.
Well, if the NCAA had a grip on it, maybe I wouldn't have a problem about it then.
That's the other thing. You just don't trust the NCAA to get this done right, because they haven't done it right in the past.
No, they have not. They should be able to provide agents. Maybe schools should be
Every team should have their own agent. Yeah,
schools
that
should be able to provide agents. The school should not be directly providing money.
See, I like that better. At least then the NCAA can monitor what kind of
get a service, get certifications, and like the NBA does, right? The NBA, you got to be like an NBA certified agent. The NFL doesn't have something like that, but you do have that in the NBA. That's what should happen. Schools should have to be like, you hire an agency that then takes over. Maybe that helps. But I feel like there's, that's just going to lead to dirty stuff happening too. Charlie, you want to move sounds of the day to 420 and then just do this next segment right here?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let's do 420 sounds of the day, because I don't want to cut it too short. Sparky does that every day, and I enjoy that segment. So there was a big fight in the NBA yesterday. It was a big fight. Not a whole lot of punches connecting, but I want you to text him in 414-677-1250. Best fights in sports. Best fights you have seen. You want to go and you want to send me boxing stuff? Sure, you can do that, but like you're missing the point of the game. All right. You know what we're talking about.
Unless it's Mike Tyson biting ears. That counts in that.
Sure. So. Yeah, I agree, Charlie. Good call. Like that is different than the sport of boxing. So 414-677-1250. The best fights in sports history for you. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
In defensive efficiency, yet they lead the NBA in fouls per game. Clearly, fouling is not a problem for a good defensive team. And Duran is fouled, and oh my goodness. And Musa's upset. Musa's really upset. I have never seen Musa Diabate like this.
That was some of the what a perfect bump to come out with there too.
Right.
That was courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network Charlotte. I know. Even though involving the Pistons there, what an insane fight. They were just going at it. And now not a lot of clean, good punches, to be fair. But it's we're at the third segment of the hour. We're to keep it loose. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. We are live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're talking about the best fights in pro sports. And we're going to go right away. Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250. Doug is in Racine. Doug, how we doing today, boss?
Oh, I'm doing real good. You guys are entertaining me on my way to work.
All right. Well, that's what we're trying to do. Doug,
40 years.
Go ahead, Doug.
40 years ago, I was dialing the channels in looking for something to watch, and Tuesday night it was, and I stopped on this fight, and I'm like, well, I like boxing, so I'm gonna just watch it. And this kid came out and knocked the guy out within 3 seconds, and my jaw hit the floor, and I'm like, who the hell is this Mike Tyson kid?
That quick.
And I watched every Tuesday night fight until he went nationally. It was awesome. He just pummeled every single fighter he fought on Tuesday night.
Yeah, and then he started biting ears after too, right?
Wow. That was a lot. Yeah. That was a long time after that. I enjoyed some really good young fights with him.
Absolutely. Thanks for the call, Doug in Racine. One of mine, this is like immediately where my brain goes for this.
Head first slide, safe, and in to score is Jimenez. And another hustle double right over the bag. And now Hosey and Anderson square off. They're fighting. They're swinging. Down goes Anderson.
Down goes Anderson. Oh, my gosh. Jose Ramirez just got up, was like, let's throw hands then, Tim, if you didn't like that slide. That's one that I always think of. Jose Bautista, Ruben Odor. That's another one that I think of. Remember when Amir Garrett was ready to fight the whole bench? That was a great one. A lot of baseball.
Yasiel Puig wanted to fight all the Pirates too as well.
Big Chuck, you got one off the top of your head?
The one that I thought of that immediately came in my head was Andre Johnson and Cortland Finnegan. Where Andre Johnson rips off his helmet and just starts beating on him, and then Cortland Finnegan just stands up and pretends like he won the fight. That's just hilarious. I thought it was just awesome. That one always comes to my mind. Trying to think of a few others. You stole a couple of them. Batista sliding into second. Yeah, that's just crazy. Just drops.
I mean, of course, Nolan Ryan, Robin Ventura, right? The headlock.
Last one I was going to come up with was Carlos Gomez hitting the leadoff home run and then pimping it around the bases and then just getting yelled at by the entire team in an empty stadium.
And then he didn't touch home. That was so stupid. Brian McCann wouldn't let him touch home, and they got called out.
I love Carlos Gomez. He might be one of my favorite athletes of all time. Definitely my favorite baseball player of all time. Just sick. Like, that was just so cool. It was such a loser move, but it was so cool at the same time.
Panthers Lightning, February 5th. I guess that was this past 5 days ago. That was a good one. And we'll have to go back and watch that the break. Coming up, Green and Gold updates. How important is left tackle? We know it is. You excited for this transition of Rasheed Walker to Jordan Morgan? That's what we're going to talk about next for the Green and Gold update here at 4 o'clock. One more hour left. Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's. Charlie Sounds of the Day still to come up too. Hour number 3 should be a good one. See you on the other side.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Time again for one more hour. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Tommy Wirtz in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, along with Charlie Usen. Let me make sure I put my mic on for you again here, because I just had to make sure Mitch Nellis didn't break anything. Can't believe he's still here. I did not think he was going to be here still, but good for Mitch Nellis. Just the hardest working man in the building for sure. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily. We are served up by Wendy's, and every day at 4:00, we do this.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer.
Green and gold updates. Talking Packers every day. It's been really quiet Packers news. Like, this right after the Super Bowl and, all the press conference stuff that came out end of year last week. Not a whole lot going on right now in Packerland. But Charlie came in with a topic here that I kind of like, and it's pretty topical to the Super Bowl. We saw Will Campbell, the rookie left tackle for the New England Patriots, get demolished on Sunday.
14 pressures given up, could not stop the bull rush to save his life. It was pretty abysmal.
And Charlie, that's just being outmanned.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't much technique. Maybe it was a technique thing, but
there are technique things that he did wrong. Like, he was vertical setting on a lot of these plays where he could probably be stronger than the defensive end, where he should have set out to the defensive end. And because of, this is the thing people keep making fun of, but his shorter arms, he should try to be the one to make first contact at any given moment. And for a majority of this game, he was the one receiving first contact. He was the one getting hit. And then that kills a guy who's a little more undersized like him. But I watched a breakdown comparing his game to what like Rashawn Slater does. And Rashawn Slater has short arms too. That's something that they point out. And they talk about how he's just able to make contact. There's things that Will Campbell can do to kind of offset these physical incapabilities that we seemingly have here after watching this game. But he can be better than what we saw for sure.
Well, it got Charlie's brain moving, and I found it. Are you more or less excited about the Packers likely moving on from Rasheed Walker now in favor of Jordan Morgan at the left tackle position, thinking that if this team is going to be making a deep playoff run in the near future, that's going to be a very important position? And I am now, maybe I'm late to this take, but I feel like I don't hear people talk about it enough. Defensive line wins the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Like, not championships, like defense wins championships or O-line, whatever the Super Bowl, the defensive line can win the game. We have seen it enough now where the Seahawks, the defensive line won that game. The Philadelphia Eagles, the defensive line won that game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Rams, when it was Aaron Donald, the defensive line wins the Super Bowl, specifically that game. The better defensive line. I would love to see the numbers on that. That position group is maybe the most important after quarterback. Maybe. Now, Jordan Morgan, a guy who we have yet to really see at left tackle in his young NFL career. He'll be entering year 3 in the NFL. Rasheed Walker likely to be moved on from after this season. And Jordan Morgan is going to be assuming that role. He has played mostly guard, a little bit of right tackle in the NFL, but they drafted him with the potential to be the next left tackle of the Green Bay Packers after Rasheed Walker is gone. His PFF numbers, overall grade of 59, that was 48th out of 81 guards last year, Okay.
That's sad. If that's a pretty bad grade. It's a little under league average. I think 66 is usually what they say is about league average. I would say that the fact that he's sitting there at 41 out of 80 eligible guards is pretty insane. That shows how bad across the league that guard play was then.
His run blocking was 57.8. That is 49 out of the 81 guards. His pass blocking, 64.3, okay. 31 out of 81 guards. So now 81 guards, likely, if every team has a perfect scenario, what is it? There's 2 on every team. That's 64, right? That puts him right in the middle. Again, he's an average pass blocker. And that gets you pretty close to the 66 number, like you were saying, Chuck.
Yeah, it does.
He's going to left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And
presumably
a lot of people that come on here, whether they are beat writers that come help us out or other content creators as well, whenever you ask about Jordan Morgan, they are all defensive. This guy, it feels like the media community versus the fan community on Jordan Morgan is about as divided as it can get. Not a lot of love for Jordan Morgan in the fan department, and then a lot of leash given off to Jordan Morgan from the media. They are saying he's a left tackle. He's a left tackle. He doesn't play right tackle. He doesn't play right guard. He is a left tackle, which gets back to this conversation of you drafted him as high as he did because of how versatile he was. And now he really isn't supposed to be playing any other position other than left tackle. So now the Jordan Morgan left tackle experience set to begin in 2026. Are you more or less confident or excited with Jordan Morgan and the Packers likely moving on to him at the left tackle position? 414-677-1250 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Chuck, I will go first on this one. I don't know if I'm supposed to be excited about Jordan Morgan. I will say this. I was a defender of Rasheed Walker after year one. And I lost all that hope last year with Rasheed Walker. I thought that he definitely regressed in his play. I think he plays a premium position. That's why he's going to get paid this offseason. I think that the drop-off maybe could be David Bakhtiari influenced, where I'm like, he's not David Bakhtiari, obviously, and that could be skewing my perception of how well or not well Rasheed Walker is playing. But that's what people do with Jordan Love all the time.
And I think with Rasheed Walker, it's not even David Bakhtiari. Rasheed Walker is skewing himself in this situation. I think the first couple of years of Rasheed Walker, you kind of had rose-colored glasses with him because he's a 7th-round pick who's coming in and is able to be a starter for this team in a premier position like you're talking about, and he's playing good enough. This season, looking at his PFF grades like he used for Jordan Morgan, they're pretty identical to the past couple of seasons for Rasheed Walker. He actually didn't get worse. He just didn't get better, and I think that's the problem people have.
Maybe that was the case then. So Jordan Morgan is going to be likely the next left tackle of the Green Bay Packers, and a lot of people wondering if that is going to be the right move. Morgan's played now 17 games this past season. He started 12 games this past year for the Green Bay Packers. Had 1 holding penalty all year. Okay. He, as we've said, has been kind of middle of the road as far as ranking him against everyone else. A little bit better pass blocker than he is a run blocker, which is more likely for the left tackle position too. If his versatility was such a big part of why he was drafted in the first round 2 years ago, you would have to think that that would lead to athleticism. And I would say Charlie would argue left tackle, you got to be pretty athletic to play the position.
I would say that's probably the most athletic player on an offensive line in most situations. Yeah.
Going up against a big pass rusher. And you saw how important it is. Can Jordan Morgan be the reason why the Packers are or are not making deep playoff runs next year?
I think he could be part of it, but also you look at the New England Patriots, this wasn't a new thing with Will Campbell. He didn't have an awful rookie season, but it definitely wasn't good in terms of where he got drafted. And he talked about that himself today because he didn't talk about it with the media after the Super Bowl. He just left, which I don't really blame him. I'm sure he wouldn't have said any of the right things possible. So I guess good on him to hold yourself back a little bit. But I think that looking at that left tackle position, a lot of these young players in the league, you're seeing it become detrimental to star quarterbacks, guys like Justin Herbert, who I know you hate talking about, hate giving him that credit, but he was really good this year with the situation that he had around him, which I don't think represented how good the Chargers could have been if they were healthy.
Let's go to the Nicolay Law talking text line, 414-677-1250 if you want to be a part of the show. CB, downtown Milwaukee. What's up, CB?
What's going on, my man?
Yeah, hanging out. We're talking about Jordan Morgan right here. How you feeling about it next year?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it, man. I mean, I really don't. I mean, you really don't have nobody else.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be a pretty good fit. And if he was playing kind of left tackle in college, I mean, you know, the Packers always kind of get these versatile guys that just don't pan out. Just let them play at their natural position and, you know, go from there. But I need you guys to do me a favor, if you could. Opening day starter, offensive line, who you think going to be?
Well, I think that they got to decide on center still, right? Well, I would bring back Sean
Ryan. Everybody's in love with Sean Ryan.
Well, he's a free agent now, CB. He's unrestricted. He can go wherever he wants. I would like to see him come back. I think that he figured it out by the end of the year. All signs pointing to Jenkins going to be gone, right? I think the rest of the offensive line is going to be pretty similar to what you saw at the end of the year. If you're going from the left side,
your boy Anthony Belton.
Yeah,
what about him? Where they gonna play him at?
He's gonna play right guard, I think.
Anthony Belton at right guard.
I think so.
That's where he was playing the whole second half of the season.
Last second half of the year, yeah, they figured it out, and he's a big mauler type guy. They have Morgan at left tackle, Banks at left guard, but I mean, keep an eye on that because there are some people predicting like a possible cut candidate on that. I don't know if they will or will not do that.
Right.
Whoever's going to play center, which I would like it to be Sean Ryan. I wouldn't be opposed to a reunion with a Josh Myers or anything either with what he did. Anthony Belton and then Zach Tom. Like, I think it's that they're going to have to run it back with the guys they got. They're going to draft some depth in the later rounds, but that you ain't using the second round pick on an offensive lineman, are you, CB?
No, that'll probably be maybe third or fourth round, maybe part of if you're going to pick an offensive lineman or something. Myself, I would go in free agency and get a center. Maybe that Raven center that's going to be a free agent.
That's what I was going to talk about.
Well, and CB, I get it. I want to spend the money to get Tyler Lindenbaum too, but that's their one move then. You think that's their one move they should go out and get as a center?
Yeah, you have to. You need some veteran in different key spots. That's why the Packers don't make it as far because they always want to be the youngest team. You need veteran in key spots. Not all of them, but key spots.
All right, CB, thanks for the call, my man.
Yeah, thanks.
There he is, CB, downtown Milwaukee, 414-677-1250 if you want to be a part of the show as well. I don't know, Charles, about the Linderbaum, and I know we're talking about Jordan Morgan. The offensive line just feels like it's been such a big topic for this Packers team over the last year now. It was the most I'd ever considered talking about offensive line last season. Going into the Packers 2025 campaign, I am 100% the most. Are you the most nervous? Okay, about Jordan Morgan on the offensive line, or is the center the bigger question for you, Charles?
Center's the biggest question. I think watching Jordan Morgan at right tackle and then left tackle that last game for the Packers in the regular season, I saw he could prove that he can be a starting caliber tackle in the NFL right now. I think there's other players, including Sean Ryan, as the season went on, that struggled at that center position. I think you go out and you bring in a player like Linderbaum. I know he's not the veteran that Joe Thuney was for the Chicago Bears when they brought him in, but I think he's that type of anchor piece that you have on your offensive line. If Zach Tom isn't going to be healthy, if Elgton Jenkins isn't going to be a part of this group, I think you have to start looking at other players to fill that role for this team. And if you bring him in, if you make him your big offseason signing, which right now doesn't look like he's actually going to make that much money, especially compared to Aaron Banks, what you paid him last season, you need to have him in this group. I think there's going to be a chance for the Packers to go out and get a player like that to cement that group totally. Because last year, 2 years ago, the reason it worked so well is because they had everybody stay on that group and be healthy and not be moving pieces around. That's a piece that you won't have to move around and makes that job so much easier to keep it together.
We'll see what happens with it. If we're going 1 to 10, 10 being confident, 1 being not confident at all, 4, 5, maybe.
I think that's fair.
I think I'm on the 4.5 side of
and I think
5.
You're probably one of the more positive people talking about Jordan Morgan too. I think obviously not as positive about as I am, but I think you kind of have to be positive with him at this point. And if you're not, if the Packers aren't at any point in the season, you got to find a replacement.
Let's get to sounds of the day, because we've just been trying to have a good time here, and talking about Jordan Morgan didn't put me in a really good mood. So it's Charlie's sounds of the day, prize picks. It's coming up next. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
clips will Chicago Charlie pick today for Sparky? Will Sparky become enraged? Will laughter ensue? It's time for Charlie's Sound of the Day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Charlie's Sounds of the Day, presented by Prize Picks. You guys been winning a lot lately?
No, we don't. When there are Sparky's doing it, it's not a win.
It's like just bet the over on Ryan Rollins.
We've been telling people that they should be doing like the opposite of the more or less of what Sparky does. Or that Prize Picks needs to adopt like the Sparky protection, so that if you do follow Sparky's picks, Sparky's play, you get your money back because it's not guaranteed.
Okay, all right. Like maybe we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Get it.
But one thing that always hits Charlie Sounds every day during this segment. Big Chuck, what do we got coming up?
All right, so first up, we're going to hear from Packers star Micah Parsons and his friend Myles Garrett discussing what frustrates him the most about the MVP award. This is courtesy of Bleacher Report.
They were saying that a defensive player can win MVP. We don't affect winning enough, so that's the next mission. That's all I'm thinking of.
Do you feel like they're more isolated at positions now? It seems like edge rushers is pretty much defense player of the years. And it's like MVPs is just strictly basically quarterbacks.
I mean, I wouldn't say that for DPOY because PS2 snuck me last year. But yeah, I feel like QB have MVP on lock because they have the ball in the hand pretty much every play.
I get that, but seeing playoffs this year, QBs can't be
QBs
a winning
haven't been
step.
winning these games in the playoffs. They have not.
You can't say that. Like, we just seen a quarterback win with 83 passing yards. So should this be ultimately be it's a fact. It's no shot. I'm not throwing no shots at nobody. But can we just say that like they deserve to be MVP?
It's too easily handed to them. I feel like we're not taking into account, with the things that we do. A lot of the numbers that we have. You have to go to like advanced metrics to see how good you are, what you do, or I am, and what I do. So to the casual guy who's just looking at the scoreboard, he's like, well, Sam Darnold threw for 4 touchdowns. He's got to be MVP. It's like Micah had 10 pressures. He also lost 3 rushes all day. And that's incredible, but that's not as easily seen as touchdowns, yards, catches, rushes, all that.
All right. I don't necessarily hate what Myles Garrett's saying there. I mean, I just got done doing a rant on how the defensive line wins the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
I mean, they win the Super Bowl. That Drake May was done. Like it didn't matter. And I don't think anyone walked away from that thinking Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl in that way.
About Coney Ealy the other day.
That's so random.
You just thought about Super Bowl defensive lineman Coney Ealy.
I think
Panthers.
It's like we should probably just treat offensive and defensive MVP the same, right? Or defensive player of the year. That's what they need to do. Change it to defensive MVP instead of the defensive player of the year and offensive player of the year. It knocks it down a peg because the offensive player of the year is not the MVP. And the MVP is always given to an offensive player other than Lawrence Taylor back in the day. But I get the point of the defensive player not getting the love and not getting the support for MVP. Now, Myles Garrett, you had a fantastic year and you were the best defensive player. Absolutely. Anyone on the Browns going to win MVP?
Myles Garrett. I mean, the only reason they won any games this season is because he was on that field.
Yeah, I mean, you're most valuable on a garbage franchise. Like he
contributed to like 5 wins himself.
Then you know what,
dude.
Charlie?
That's
then you know
crazy.
what? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go full baseball, and we're just gonna put numbers into a computer, and let's have a computer decide the MVP every year.
Let's do it.
No, it's a stupid rule.
Sparky wants that. He called for that exact thing that you
exactly. All right. So you want to be game with that now? All of a sudden, no.
I like that people get to choose and not their storylines.
Well, unless you're Sam Monson or whoever it was who voted for Justin Herbert,
but that's a storyline. That's something that takes into account. He had a phenomenal season with the entirety of his offense injured around
overrated.
him.
He's so overrated. I promise you, he is. I promise you, he's overrated.
It's crazy.
Trevor Lawrence is just as good as him.
And Trevor Lawrence had a phenomenal season and was great this year.
Yeah, and
he should have got that last MVP vote that Justin Herbert got.
Absolutely.
Based on how the finalists
But
were.
if you go ask people about Trevor Lawrence, you're like, he ain't winning a Super Bowl.
That's because real people didn't watch this season.
He ain't doing it.
He might have a shot if he keeps progressing.
Well, he's better than Justin Herbert, farther along the line that way, in my opinion. So, defensive player. I think it's just dumb that the MVP always goes to a quarterback, right? I mean, we know that there's been years where it should go other places, and it doesn't. So if anyone should have had a case, should have been that JJ Watt year where he had like 20 sacks and 5 touchdowns or whatever it was on offense. So
tight end of the year, dude.
Next
up, we're going to head down to our friends at 670 The Score in Chicago, where the crew over there in between their shows were finding it weird that the Packers are ranked higher than the Bears in a lot of publications going into next season.
11 on the button is in fact where they are.
Okay.
How'd you guys know that?
Oh, did you start thinking about where teams are and where they are and
It's
the ascension?
unbelievable.
Well, I started thinking about like the odds, like what the future odds have been, and not seeing the Bears on the first page of the future odds. I was like, oh, maybe there's an investment opportunity out there for people.
Number 10 is the Green Bay Packers. They've got the Bears behind the Green Bay Packers.
I think that's
Myles Garrett
understandable.
told you all you need to know, didn't he? When he had his chat with Micah Parsons.
We're using that tomorrow.
Micah was a little chatty this weekend.
For a guy who's just not doing anything.
Yeah, I feel
Let's go back to
bad.
the Pro Bowl games where he's rolling around on his little
They
scooter.
see me rolling.
Bears are at
He's
11,
definitely riding dirty.
ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Houston Texans, the Baltimore Ravens.
That's the Matt Nagy effect.
The LA Chargers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Cowboys. Feels nice to see the Bears above all those teams.
Yeah,
I
but
like
behind
that.
the Packers?
Behind the Packers, you just took 2 out of 3 from them.
Yeah, but
I know they didn't have
Healthy
Micah.
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, it seems
You
like
know
a
the
thing.
drill.
Yeah. I
He's,
suppose.
I mean, are we sure he's going to be healthy and
We're-
ready
we
to
are not.
roll at the
We don't
beginning
know if
of the
he's going to be
season?
back to himself.
we are not sure.
Not at all.
I would tell you that that's probably not going to be the case.
I guarantee they won't wait till that deep into the season to face each other for the first time next year. I can tell you that.
No, it's not dead air. It's just me not talking.
You get over that? Yeah.
Charles, I don't want to sound too homer on this.
Okay.
I really don't. To be like, we took 2 out of 3. Like, yeah, you did, but come on. Like, the incompetency of Green Bay led to 2 of those wins more than the talent of Chicago.
Yeah.
Maybe more so in the second regular season game than the playoff game. I can give you some credit in the playoff game. But a recovered onside kick, game's over.
Yeah, that was crazy.
If, Caleb Williams' ball gets batted down by Carrington Valentine, game over. Like, it was seriously the series of unfortunate events that all had to happen for Green Bay. Not like the Bears had to get more of those plays to go in their favor. They had to get all of those plays to go in their favor in order to win those games against Green Bay. And kudos to them. They did. But hey, Charles, let's see what happens when you get a first place schedule next year.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough road for the Chicago Bears. I think there is something to, I guess, yes, the Packers made a lot of mistakes, but the fact that the Bears were able to capitalize on every single one of them and turn it into points every single time, that's talent. That's something that as a team, the Green Bay Packers, they have to be weary about. But to your point, I think Bears fans need to cool it a little bit. Like, this was one season. It ended in heartbreak once again, despite there being so many highs and people being happy with the way the season went. We've seen this before, and we've seen this Bears team fall apart the very next season and have to restart over again. So wait for it to happen a couple more times before you start calling out the Packers saying, oh, we don't deserve to be ahead of them, when the Packers just have been there before and more consistently. They deserve the benefit of the doubt over the Bears.
Do you know the cojones you have to be like, Micah Parsons? Oh, he's down there doing that. Micah Parsons, what is he
He's
gonna
not
do?
going to be the same. Going back.
He won't
That's
be the
crazy.
same, dude.
Like, maybe, but I'm pretty confident he is. Like, I'd rather bet on he's going to come back to be the guy than not.
I am going to. I know it's not really fair to do this, but I will not have any opinion on the Green Bay Packers next year until Micah Parsons comes back. That is seriously that big of a deal for me. When I evaluate the Green Bay Packers, I am waiting to evaluate Micah Parsons' effect of the Green Bay Packers, because, and if he gets hurt again long term, like then that's different. But if Mike is going to miss 4 games, yeah, the first month of the season, like, cool.
Even the offense, though,
Charles, all they have to do,
the offense at
all they have to do is win 1 game, Charlie, and they were better next year than they were without Micah Parsons. They did not win a game if Micah Parsons did not play. And I don't think that's necessarily a positive thing, but I am telling you, he is that important to really the direction of football, not even just the Packers. Like, if the Green Bay Packers have Micah Parsons in the postseason this year, who knows who's playing? Who knows?
And I think you win some more of those games if you have Jordan Love. You win some more of those games if you have a more consistent group on the offensive line. And you win some more of those games if Tucker Kraft is healthy. There's a lot of other things that happened in those last 5 weeks of the season that were added on top of Micah Parsons. So, yeah, I understand not wanting to get any hopes up or get any hopes down based on Packers without Micah. For at the same time, there's plenty of players on this team to watch and to be excited about that can still win football games.
Sure. None of them are named Micah. The ones that aren't named Micah Parsons are less important. 100%.
They are, but they're still important.
There are important pieces. I understand that. I have a lot more, faith that Micah Parsons is going to come back and be great than some of the other guys that we have questions about. But I'm telling you that he is different. He is 100% different than any other player other than quarterback that I've ever seen play for the Green Bay Packers. It is that important to the team. And you make a trade for a guy like that and sacrifice the future because you saw that in Dallas. Now, as someone who gets to watch him every week, I'm watching Micah Parsons on defense. I'm not watching the ball. I want to see what Micah is doing. He has drawn my attention because I know he is giving everything he's got. He is he's one step ahead of everyone else, and he is impacting the game on every single play. Not every pass rush, not every rushing down, not every ball that comes his way. Every single play, it is impacted because of Micah Parsons. So 670, I mean, just cool. Like, doubt him. Please doubt him. Please doubt him. I would love that.
And last up here, we're going to head over to Yahoo Sports, where Kenyon Martin,
thought the
former
last ones
NBA
were
player,
Yahoos. Yeah, sorry.
Kenyon Martin, former NBA player, was on the Yahoo Sports podcast, and he was breaking down NBA tanking and why he hates it.
It's disgusting. It is a disgusting display of non-competitive natured organizations. I think it's awful for the game. I think it's awful for sports. Something has to be done, man. It's when you're making it blatantly obvious like that, the league has to step in, man. It has to be a draft pick, some fines, something has to give. Because it's no good for the fans, man. Like, if anybody is cheated, it's the fans in these situations, especially this situation. These people paying their hard-earned money to come out and see these guys play and cheer them on and root for them night in, night out, and you go out and do things like that. And there's no, so this is my thing with it as well. There is no guarantees on the other side of it. You can do all this and come out and get the 7th pick. Then what? It's disgusting.
Yeah. He brings it up and says, like, the people who hurt the most are the fans, right? And that is so 100% correct. And I was telling this to Mitch, and Mitch is easily the biggest Bucks fan, I feel like, here at the station, season ticket holder, loves the team, loves Giannis, whatever it is, right? No matter what. He was going to cancel him, and then he ended up just downgrading his season ticket package. Chuck, I was telling him, I watched the Bucks game yesterday, and I just feel like I get a quarter and a half into the game, and I'm like, what happened? Like, what? You can tell no one cares, right? Especially at this part of the season where it's right by the All-Star break.
It's so annoying.
It looks like a job more than it looks like I like playing basketball. That's what it looks like in the NBA right now. It looks like these guys are clocking in and clocking out, and the passion has been sucked out of the sport. And that's something that every Brewers fan loved about the Brewers season last year, where it was every game, no matter what, it was like, all right, we're inning one, we're coming out hot. We're going to start hot. We're going to see what happens. We're going to put the ball in play. We're going to run around, right? And in the NFL, you can't not have that attitude because every game means so much more than the NBA schedule. Right now in the NBA, it just looks like they're going through the motions, and it is causing me to be scatterbrained while watching the sport. And maybe that's because Giannis isn't there, and that really isn't helping either draw my interest to the Milwaukee Bucks. But every time, like the last 4, 5, 6 games now that I've watched, I find myself like I have to go back. Like I have to look at the score, the box score, and make sure I figure. I told him it's like I read a page out of a book and then I just I totally totally didn't read that correctly. Like I feel so lost watching it because it feels like they're playing so lost right now.
Right. And I think the Bucks specifically, it helps that Giannis isn't on the court in that whole situation. But when the league, when these team ownership groups and the people are in the front office, what Kenny Martin is responding to here is the Utah Jazz after Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lauri Markkanen had an awesome debut game together. After 3 quarters with a lead in that game, but not a very big lead, only about 10 points, they benched both those guys for the entire fourth quarter. The Jazz ended up losing that game. Like, it's blatant. Like he said, it's disgusting. And these guys are going out there and they want to play basketball. But when the league punishes you for that, when your team punishes you for that, it's so weird. And then the NBA just turns around and says, we don't care about the current fans we have anyways. We don't care about the content on the court. They invited 200 just random content creators to the All-Star game. That's been the big story today. They're trying to expand to 2 cities right now, one that hasn't had basketball before and hasn't really ever asked for basketball in Las Vegas, and the other in Seattle that basically got used to not having basketball there at this point. Now you're going to dangle it back in front of them, all because you don't care about the current fans watching the game and you don't care about what's happening in the court. You were more excited to tease about Giannis trades and to tease about all these other things happening at the All-Star game than trying to get the players that are playing right now to want to play basketball. It's kind of insane that they think they are as big and as popular as they are when they just aren't, and when they know it and they can see the product on the court is not resulting in that.
Yeah, they are much more concerned about the drama surrounding the sport in season than they are about the basketball on the court. And that's a big flaw right now. And it's been heading in that direction. I mean, no, people are going to text in, call whatever it is and say, yeah, I mean, this is why I stopped watching X amount of years ago. This is why I stopped watching when LeBron came in. This is why I started. Like, there's moments of it for sure, but you have super corporated the game of basketball, and it is almost unwatchable at this point. If you have an itch to watch a basketball game, I would watch a college basketball game 100 times out of 100 before I would watch an NBA game. If you want star power, yeah, I get it. Then you go watch the NBA. But it is so corporate and just zombie-like right now. It feels like
it's so weird because it is a sport. It is a league that, in my mind, was built off of its own culture and making its own kind of bubble and universe that they had. The NFL and the MLB didn't really do that as well. They were just able to kind of get that reach from being popular sports. The NBA had like their own universe that they were thriving in. And now all of a sudden they're trying too hard to be the MLB and be the NFL when they don't have that basis of power that those other leagues have.
Also, the other thing is they have an awesome playoffs. I mean, the NBA playoffs are great. They are.
It's electric every time.
They're very good, and the guys turn it on and it's ready to go there. But maintaining interest is very hard during the regular season. And I will tune into the NBA playoffs. I'll watch a lot of those games. They're awesome. I think they do a fantastic job in the postseason. But man, you gotta fix these lulls. Baseball almost like leans into it, right? They're like, oh, it's the dog days of summer, right? Like, well, just coming out to enjoy the outside, enjoy the air.
Do you feel like people in the NBA care about breaking regular season records as much as other sports do? Do you think like that has anything to do with it too? I feel like I never hear about an NBA player getting close to a record or breaking a record until it's the last couple of weeks of the regular season. But then in the playoffs, you care about the records all the time. They talk about the scoring records being broken. Or is it just not as attainable in basketball? Is that the other problem?
I guess I've never really put much thought into that. But again, it just feels like that's because they have been neglecting it, maybe. Yeah.
Like the moment Cal Raleigh hits 25 home runs through the first 2 months of the season, they're on it right away, and they're pushing that he's going to break the record.
Gotta find something to chase throughout the year. Yeah.
The MLB does such a good job at that.
They gave Aaron Judge a fake home run
right,
title.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Just start finding storylines, and they don't do that.
Charlie, you might have fixed the NBA.
What can I say?
You might have fixed it, because that's a good point. They're terrible at keeping you occupied via a chase in some sort. Maybe they did a terrible job with OKC when people were like thinking about they were going to win 70 some games. Not going to happen anymore now, but
they were electric, and it just didn't feel like the NBA was pushing that enough. They were just saying, "Hey, look, Shea's there, man." That's it.
All right. Well, Charlie Sounds today presented by Prize Picks. Make sure you guys using promo code Sparky SPARKY to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. If you're going to play a lineup, don't listen to Sparky or Charlie. That's what we've gotten so far out of this.
Mostly Sparky. I'm okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Humbly. Things T-Dog missed. That's what it reads right here. It's supposed to be things Sparky missed, presented by the Milwaukee Admirals. We'll get to that next. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Sparky missed talking about today on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Don't you worry. Sparky's got you covered now. Don't miss Milwaukee Admirals hockey this season. Don't just buy tickets. Invest in memories at MilwaukeeAdmirals.com.
Time for things that Sparky missed, but Tommy edition on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Tommy Wirtz in for Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Charles, something you missed that's not related to sports, but I don't know if you have your wide orbit up over there. Sparky has been leaving us messages in between the breaks.
I've not been watching it.
And so he's like, Charlie, Tommy, like in each of these breaks. And at the 4:00 hour, he had put like almost done. And then this last one, he had said, thanks for filling in. Enjoy Door County over there.
Oh, yeah.
So he's been something to I'm working tomorrow still, actually, but I'm just not going to be working here. There's a nice little, Door Peninsula wine event that we're doing. Be me.
Are you at the winery?
I am.
Can you bring me back a couple bottles? I love Door Peninsula,
dude.
And I've been there before. Cool.
You let me. Yeah, maybe I can hook it up. It's me, John Kuhn, Elizabeth K.
Make Kuhn get them for me.
Yeah, right. I mean, we'll see what they do, what they hook us up with. Should be fun. I'll be back Thursday because again, like just getting an off day is not easy for Tommy, especially. So I have to drive back from Door County. Hopefully don't drink too much wine and be back here probably like 10:30. Like it's gonna be a nice drive for sure. But there's some people who are like, thank God Tommy's not gonna be talking on the radio anymore tomorrow. So that is absolutely gonna be a good time. Can't wait for that as well. What did we miss today, Chuck?
The first thing that you missed that is also not sports related, but also last episode that you filled in for Sparky, you called us Dumb and Dumber. We're kind of dressed like Dumb and Dumber right now. And I just noticed that at the last segment.
We are kind of matching. Yeah. You got your little sweater on, and I got the same little undershirt right underneath here. I went last time I wore this flannel, not this flannel, but a flannel to work. Cal called it the ugliest color he's ever seen.
I think it's fine. What
yeah,
do you mean,
I like
dude?
this one.
That's
This
crazy,
one, it's getting a little fall. It feels a little fall-y outside, a little bit warm, a little bit cooler out right now.
Real thing you missed though, LeBron James is now ineligible to make an All-NBA team after missing the 65-game threshold, ending his 21 season straight long All-NBA streak.
Look, two things can be true. You've been
working with Thunder too much, dude. That's what Thunder's saying.
Choose love over hate. Okay, three things can be true. I got it. LeBron James is my greatest of all time just because of the longevity of his career, and him and Tom Brady, like very similar, right? Like defying father time. Okay. Right. And he's got all the counting stats, and he is like all in on the NBA, NBA teams and NBA all-stars, whatever it is. The other caveat, he might have ruined basketball. He might have. Seriously. I mean, he is the storyline, next year, because there's no way this is his last year. There's no way, because the retirement tour is going to be unbearable.
Oh, it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be the most insane,
the rocking chairs, and everything.
Insane thing you've ever seen. If you think like they did it with Miguel Cabrera, right, during his, and I'm pretty sure they did it with Pujols.
Dirk had one, I think. Too,
yeah, they did it with Dirk. Did Dwayne Wade get one?
I think he did.
Yeah. The LeBron James retirement tour is gonna be a tough one. You're gonna vomit a lot when you watch it. And I get it. I get why there is a draw towards him. I get why there is a repellent away from him. He has absolutely impacted the game so much, and he is not going to make an All-NBA team. Feel like that's kind of fair so far right now, where you're talking about a guy who
he didn't deserve his All-Star place.
Yeah.
That should have gone to Kawhi Leonard in the first place. Kawhi Leonard's on the team now, but I mean, it felt like they were already giving him the gimmies.
It's time. Okay, it is time. LeBron, thank you for your service. But no, I don't think you are a top 15 player in the league anymore. Is that a crazy take?
No, it's weird to say.
Weird to say. All right. Big Chuck, thanks for hanging out.
Anytime, I got you.
It's time to wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for coming along on Wisconsin Sports Daily for the last 3 hours. Tommy Wirt's been here with you. Wisconsin Sports Wrap Up. A lot of good stuff going from 9 to noon from inside Wisconsin Sports. Of course, the Mason Crosby Show. That comes up next. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Have a good rest of your night, everyone. We'll do it again tomorrow.